Chapter 1. The Letter. I thought I was done with Olivia the day our divorce was finalized. She had taken half of everything, my house, my savings, and years of my life. But most importantly, she had taken my peace. So when an envelope arrived in the mail, marked with her handwriting, my hands hesitated before opening it. Inside was a single note. Meet me at the old cafe, one last time. No explanation, no apology, just a demand. I should have ignored it, but something about the message gnawed at me. Olivia never did anything without a reason, and I had a sinking feeling that whatever this was about, it wasn't over. Chapter 2. A familiar face. The old cafe was where we used to go every Sunday morning, back when we were happy, if you could even call it that. She was already there when I arrived, sitting at a table by the window, stirring her coffee in slow, deliberate circles. When she looked up at me, I felt something strange, something I hadn't expected. Fear. Not mine. Hers. You came, she said, offering a small, tired smile. You left me no choice, I replied, sliding into the chair across from her. There was a long silence between us, filled only by the distant hum of conversations and clinking cups. Then, finally, she spoke. I need your help, I scoffed. You divorced. Me, Olivia. Took everything I had. And now you need my help? Her fingers tightened around the cup. It's not like that. Then what is it? She glanced around the cafe as if making sure no one was listening. Then she leaned in and whispered, Someone is trying to kill me. Chapter 3. Secrets never die. I almost laughed. Olivia, if this is some kind of game, it's not. She cut me off. I'm serious, Ethan. I don't know who, but I keep getting messages. Someone is watching me, following me. They know things about me that no one should. I leaned back. You always had secrets, Liv. Maybe one finally caught up with you. Her eyes darkened. Maybe, but now you're in it too. I frowned. What do you mean? She reached into her bag and pulled out a small, crumpled note. She slid it across the table. I hesitated before picking it up. In bold red ink, 4 words sent a chill down my spine. He should have killed you. Chapter 4. The past never stays. Buried memories. I had long buried, resurfaced in an instant. I thought, back to the night we ended. The real reason we ended. The accident. The man. The cover-up. Olivia met my gaze. He's back, Ethan. I swallowed hard. 3 years ago, Olivia and I had been driving home from a party when a man stumbled into the road. I was behind the wheel. I hit the brakes too late. We got out, panicked. The man wasn't dead. At least not yet. Olivia, always the one to take control, whispered, We can't call the cops. We leave, and we never talk about this again. And we did. We drove away. The next morning, the news reported his death as a hit and run. We pretended it never happened. And now, someone knew. Chapter 5. The hunter becomes the hunted. Who sent this? I asked, gripping the note. I don't know, Olivia admitted. But they know everything. They sent me pictures, Ethan. Of that night. Of the accident. Of you and me standing over him. I felt my stomach twist. They want us to pay, she whispered. And I think it's him. I looked at her in disbelief. That's impossible. He died. She swallowed. Are you sure? For the first time in years, I wasn't. Chapter 6. The chase begins. Olivia and I were no longer exes. We were targets, and the past was coming for us. Chapter 7. Shadows in the dark. I couldn't think straight. The air in the cafe felt suffocating. Olivia, listen to me, I said, leaning in. We both saw him. We left him there. He was dead. Her eyes stayed locked on mine, desperate. Then who's sending the messages? I didn't have an answer. All I knew was that if someone out there knew about that night, we were in danger. Olivia reached into her bag again and pulled out another envelope. She slid it across the table. "Open it," she whispered. Inside were photos, taken from a distance, some of her, some of me, some of my apartment, my office, my car, and then a final photo. One that sent ice through my veins, a picture of our crime scene from 3 years ago, a picture of the man lying in the dirt. But this time, in bold red letters scrawled across the image, "You should have finished the job." Chapter 8. The stranger in the crowd. I shot up from my seat, scanning the cafe. Someone was watching. Olivia grabbed my wrist. "Ethan, don't—" But I didn't listen. I stormed outside, my heart pounding. The street was crowded, but I saw him. A man, standing by a lamppost, wearing a dark hoodie, motionless, staring straight at me. My blood ran cold. Could it be him? I took a step forward, but as soon as I did, he turned and disappeared into the alleyway. "Hey!" I shouted, chasing after him. I pushed past pedestrians, my breath ragged, my mind spinning. I turned the corner, ready to confront whoever it was, but the alley was empty. No sign of him, no footprints. Just a single note taped to the brick wall. I ripped it off and read the words out loud: "Run while you still can." Chapter 9. Nowhere to hide. I rushed back to the cafe, my pulse hammering. Olivia was already on her feet, her face pale. "Did you see him?" I nodded. Someone was there, but he got away. Her fingers trembled. "Ethan, what if it really is him?" I shook my head. "It's impossible. This is someone messing with us. We need to find out who." We left the cafe, moving. "Quickly!" I drove us to my apartment, locking the doors behind us. "We need to retrace our steps," I said. "Find out who else could have been there that night. Who saw something? Who had a reason to come after us now?" Olivia sat down on the couch, her hands clutching her arms. "I never should have left you," she murmured. I looked at her. "What?" She exhaled sharply. "After the accident, I thought leaving would make it easier. I thought it would erase what we did. But it didn't." I didn't respond, because I knew exactly what she meant. Some sins don't stay buried. Chapter 10. The night it all fell apart. We went through everything: old records, news articles, police reports from the accident, but there was nothing. No witnesses, no evidence, until Olivia gasped. "Wait, look at this." She held up an old article from the night of the accident. The man we had hit, his name was Daniel Carter. He was 34 years old, survived by one family member, his younger brother, a brother named Liam Carter. Mine felt my stomach drop. "Liam," I muttered. "It has to be him." Olivia's eyes widened. What if he knew? What if he was watching us this whole time? A sudden crash echoed from outside. We both jumped. I ran to the window. A dark figure stood on the sidewalk below, staring up at us. Then slowly, deliberately, he raised his hand and pointed directly at Olivia. Chapter 11. The truth comes out. I grabbed Olivia's hand. "We're leaving, now." We ran to my car, speeding out of the city, heading toward my family's old cabin in the woods. Somewhere safe, somewhere no one could find us, or so I thought. Hours later, as night fell, we sat in silence, the only sound the crackling of the fireplace. Then Olivia spoke. "Ethan, there's something I need to tell you." I turned to her. "What is it?" She hesitated. Then, "I lied to you." I froze. "About what?" She swallowed hard. "That night, the accident. It wasn't an accident." I stared at her. "What the hell are you talking about?" She gripped her hands together. I knew who he was, Daniel Carter. He wasn't just some random guy on the road. I shook my head. No, that doesn't make sense. Her voice cracked. He was following me. That night, he was chasing me. My blood ran cold. She continued, her voice shaking. Daniel wasn't a stranger. He was someone from my past. Someone I owed money to. He threatened me. He said if I didn't pay up, he'd ruin me. I took a step back. I ran him down on purpose, she whispered, and you took the blame without even knowing it. I felt sick. All these years, I had thought it was my mistake, my guilt to carry. But Olivia had been lying. She had used me. A loud bang outside made us both jump. Someone was here, and they weren't knocking. Chapter 12. The Reckoning. The door burst open. A man stepped inside. Tall, broad-shouldered, a scar across his face. Liam Carter. You thought you could run, he said coldly. Olivia clutched my arm. Liam, please, shut up, he growled, pointing a gun at her. You killed my brother, and you made him take the fall. I stepped in front of Olivia. Liam, listen. No, you listen, he snapped. I gave you a chance to confess. I sent the notes, the photos. But you just ran. He tightened his grip on the gun. Now, I'm going to make things right. Time slowed. Olivia lunged for the gun. A shot rang out. She gasped, staggering back. Blood spread across her shirt. She fell to the floor, eyes wide in shock. Liam turned to me, but before he could react, I tackled him. The gun flew across the room. We fought, fists colliding, until I grabbed a fire poker and swung. Liam collapsed. I panted, looking down at Olivia. She was gone, and for the first time in years, I felt truly free. Epilogue. The last goodbye. The police ruled it as self-defense. Olivia's secrets died with her. Liam survived, but would spend the rest of his life in prison. As for me, I walked away. No more guilt, no more lies. I buried my ex-wife that week, but in the end I realized she had buried me long before the end.